Welcome back to the Full Force Fathers Podcast, episode number 55. How you doing today, Dave?
I'm doing great. It's Saturday, so unfortunately we're recording this before the Final Four happens, but I'm super pumped because UConn's taking the court tonight against the Miami Hurricanes, the U, and hopefully when everyone's hearing this, we are on top of the world as national champions.
I hope you're right, man. I'm super stoked to watch the game. We'll be all hanging out in the camper watching it together, and we'll just go from there. But yeah, this will be released on Tuesday. It is Saturday, so we have no idea what's going to happen yet. We have no idea if they win, what's going to happen in the national championship on Monday night if they get there. All I know is I'm sweating bullets thinking about it because there's something about Jim Larinaga that just scares the shit out of me.
Well, yeah, he arguably beat probably the most talented UConn team of all time in the Elite Eight with George Mason to get to their Final Four. But you know what, dude? At the end of the day, we've made another Final Four. UConn is back. That's an amazing thing to think about. So, you know what? Even if they do fall short, I'm really happy with the season that they had. Obviously, I want to see them get across the finish line and win another because that would take us to another tier. Make us a true blue blood, and I don't think it's even in question at that point.
You don't have to worry about that.
I mean, I think we are, but others will debate it because we haven't been there for as long. But I mean, I think if we get to 5 national championships,
all I know is this: my argument to anyone who doesn't think UConn's a blue blood. If you want to talk historically, we weren't really a good program in the Adolph Rupp days and all those other days when Kentucky and UCLA, John Wooden. But guess what? Since 1999. We are the most successful basketball program in the country. So,
and honestly, I mean, we were solid all the way through the 90s. I mean, beginning by, Ray Allen and bringing that team. Yeah, they didn't get to a final, they didn't get to a Final Four, but they were competitive. They were regularly in the tournament and really close. Even back to Tate
we made Elite Eight,
when they got beat in the Elite Eight at the buzzer.
We made it.
So UConn's been around.
We made 5 Final Fours. This is our 6th. We've only lost once in the national semifinals. We've won 4 other titles. We have Tate George got eliminated in the Elite Eight. We got eliminated in the Elite Eight against George Mason. We lost in the Elite Eight to Maryland the year Maryland won it in 2001 when Caron Butler went ballistic. So it's not like we just made Final Fours and we've done nothing since. We have 3 other Elite Eight resume tournament runs where that those count. We're definitely a blue blood. We've been the most successful program, like I said, since '99. So I'm not going to worry about it. And yes, to be back in the Final Four is huge. And now we just need Hurley to capitalize on this Final Four. It's not always about, we want to win a title this weekend, but we got what happens next year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt about it. He's going to have to reload because he's going to have some guys leaving that came in from the transfer portal. Who knows what's going to happen with Hawkins? He's probably going to go. I mean, he very easily could lose 6 or 7 guys to the NBA, so it's going to be it's going to be tough.
Yeah, but anyway, so we are
where are you recording right now?
This is going to be the final episode of Where the Hell in the World Brett's recording from. I'm going to pass that torch back to Dave here, not too long in the distant future, because as we had our conversation earlier, you'll be heading to Texas not that long from now for the spring game, and then you'll be recording from a freaking hotel room or something. So, I am actually recording right now we have made it to Arizona, back to our state, our home, which is awesome. But we are recording from Wilcox, Arizona right now, which is a little town 80 miles from Tucson. We got into town yesterday, being Friday, into the state, and we had already booked this place. We've heard great things about this campground, pool, hot tub, playground for the kids, little cafe on there, and it's lived up to its expectation. One of these episodes, I'm just going to do campground reviews. It may just be me talking. I'm just going to do a bunch of campground reviews for those traveling families that listen to the show. But this is a top-notch campground. Pepper gets to run. And the cool thing about this campground and being in Wilcox, Arizona, is we lived in Tucson for 7+ years, 8 years nearly, and we never went to the Chiricahua National Monument. In the last 2 national parks and monuments we've been to, White Sands National Park in New Mexico, which we did last week or earlier this week, and now the Chiricahua National Monument, which I just found out from the park ranger, is up in a bill to become a national park. It would be the 64th national park in the United States. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but yeah, it's amazing. amazing. Both places were amazing. White Sands blew me away. The girls had so much fun. You saw pictures. You couldn't believe it. I mean, it was just tremendous.
Yeah, when we FaceTime, man, that was so cool. The girls were literally just sprinting up sand dunes. It was like they were in the middle of the Sahara. I don't know. It was awesome.
It's coolest thing. Cool. The coolest thing. I mean, this is not a national park episode. Also, that could be another episode for another time. The coolest thing about the the White Sand Dunes National Park in New Mexico is the sand is always cool. So even when it's 110 in the desert, where it is located all summer long, you will never get burned by the sand because it is so bright that the sun reflects off it. And at any point throughout the entire park, 1 to 3 feet under the layer of the sand is water. So it's on its own aquifer. It's on its own. Really the craziest thing is, which makes it even crazier, it is on its own salt water aquifer in the middle of the desert, which makes you think, holy shit, what did this world look like 10 bajillion years ago, right? There's literally salt water under the white sand dunes in the middle of New Mexico where they were nowhere near the ocean. Yeah, so that was crazy. Super cool. And then the Chiricahua National Monument was just phenomenal. You want to talk about walking through some of the coolest terrain you have ever experienced. Walking through spires, right? They call them spires in South Dakota. They call them haboobs in Bryce Canyon. They call it whatever you want to call them, man. They are the coolest rock formations that have been around for thousands and thousands of years, and you can literally walk in between them. I know I sent you some pictures yesterday that were just like, holy shit, this is so cool. We caught a sunset up there. But the whole moral of the story is, take your kids outside. We had no cell phone service. It was awesome. Our phones were literally used for pictures. We didn't have to worry about anything other than just being the 5 of us out in nature, outside. As I say it every day, go outside, especially with your kids. There's nothing better than going out there and experiencing what this country, this road trip has been awesome. We've made some awesome, awesome memories, but it just goes to show you this country, how massive it is and how much you can actually do with your kids. We haven't had a TV on and I can't even tell you how long, and it's the coolest thing ever. It will be on tonight. It will be on tonight for the Final Four, but just being out in nature, the beach with you guys, dude, Texas desert, Texas green, alligators, mountains, you freaking name it. We have done it on this trip. So that's it. This is our final episode recording on the road. We will be in Tucson tomorrow, and then I will be, home. I'm so glad to say that I will be home. So
yeah. Well, I'm glad you're back in Arizona. I already missed you out here. But I'm happy you're back there and looking forward to coming out there to visit you.
Listen, the door's always open, and and the other cool thing is I've seen long lost friends on this road trip. That has also been like extra special to me. Like my very best friend growing up, we went to the military. We hung out with him in Waco, as you heard on the last episode, and then another one of my brother's great friends growing up. Her and her husband, we hung out with them. And had dinner with them, and it's just been awesome. But enough of that. It's episode 55.
Very cool.
That's my moral of the story. Take your kids outside. But we're hopping right into our Bible verse today. It comes from Ecclesiastes. It's the second week in a row we're coming out of Ecclesiastes, and it is chapter 9, verse 10. Whatever your hands find to do, do it with all your might. For in the realm of the dead, where you are going, there is neither working nor planning, nor knowledge, nor wisdom. That is a whole lot. There's a whole lot in that verse. It's a long verse, but the moral of it is whatever you do, do it as good as you can do it, because when you die, it's nothing. What's your thoughts?
Yep. Yeah, I think this is a great one. It ties in really well to where we're going to go with today's episode, but it's talking about doing your very best at whatever it is you're doing. Why be mediocre, right? Everybody, like when you're doing something, do it to the best of your ability and don't be mediocre. I think everybody's got a sense of entitlement in today's society, and that allows us to believe, whatever I give in effort is I need to have this much back in reward to compensate for that. And if I don't, I'm only going to give this much effort. And that that's the first part of it. But the second part, which I think is really interesting, where it says, "For in the realm of the dead, where you are going, there is neither working nor planning nor knowledge nor wisdom." So that, I think, is talking about hell. And if you don't give your best effort, that's where you're going to end up going. But it's saying that the opposite of that is heaven, right? Where there will be planning, knowledge, the presence of God, and being fully transformed Christians, there'll be infinite wisdom there. So I think it's saying if you do your very best at all times, you're always focused on that, you're going to be in heaven where those things are present, and you're not going to go to hell where those things just
and
aren't
if you
going to
read
be.
Ecclesiastes, it talks a lot about your toil, right? Your struggle. It talks the word meaningless is used a lot in Ecclesiastes, and it talks about, we all, another great line from that book is, we all came from dust, and to dust we will all return. So, while you're here on this earth, just do good, man. Do good, and that's the whole purpose. And work hard, and or else it's kind of meaningless. So yeah, I really like that verse. And you picked that verse out, which was made it extra cool. But let's hop right into greatest number 55. So I'm gonna let you take it and run with it. But yeah, once again, 55 was a really good number. It didn't make the tournament, but it was a good number. So where are you gonna kick us off with?
It's actually a really good number. So in the NFL, we got the great late Junior Seau, San Diego Charger. Man, he was one of the best linebackers ever. He was out there flying around. Oh, he was phenomenal. Followed by another incredible linebacker. How about Terrell Suggs from that Ravens defense, right? And then you got Tampa Bay Buck, Derek Brooks. Another incredible one. This guy is just in the news for, not great stuff off the field, but Willie McGinnis from the Patriots, number 55. So solid across the NFL list. Okay. And then the NBA, you got,
go ahead.
You're going to say something? Dikembe, the old finger wag,
baby. The finger wag.
Mutombo. Oh man. Yeah, he was fantastic. And then Kiki Vandeweghe and Jason Williams. Point guard Jason Williams. Couple Jason Williams. White chocolate, that's right. You want to take the MLB, and I even found a football one for you.
I don't want to say
because I know how much you love it.
Because 55 is not a good soccer number, but it's I'm glad that you did find a soccer player, but he's
I found you one.
Jason Williams. The other cool thing that most people about Jason Williams. And he went to college. Where did he go to college? I'm pretty sure Jason Williams. No, I am 100% factual. Jason Williams, white chocolate, went to college at Marshall. And you know the other great Hall of Fame athlete that went to Marshall? You don't know it.
I don't.
He is one of the greatest football players to ever play the game. Randy Moss.
Who?
Randy Moss played.
Oh, that's right.
Randy Moss played at Marshall.
Yeah.
So, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no, it's cool. So we can just keep going down this list. I mean, I gladly talk about these numbers. And actually, one more. Let me put one more in there because another one that you're not going to remember. He's most famous for getting carried down the field when he played at Marshall. Byron Leftwich played at Marshall, if you remember, and he got carried down the field when he got hurt, and they were driving in the fourth quarter, and bad leg, and his linemen were literally picking him up. Google it, YouTube it if you're listening. They literally picked him up and were carrying him to the huddle down the field. He'd make the throw, and then they'd pick him up and carry him down. But anyways, that's your Marshall history lesson for the day. But baseball, Oral Hershiser is on this list. Jorge Posada wore 55 at one point. But the one that I love that you put in here, dude, Tim Lincecum. And the reason why I love Tim Lincecum is because there was an ESPN commercial back in the day when the ESPN used to be cool, and they had the great This Is Sports Center commercials, and Lincecum was on it. And because he has all the nicknames, Big Time Timmy Jim, the Freaky Franchise, he had all the great nicknames. And he was this little dude that just struck people out like it was going out of style, which made Tim Lincecum awesome. World Series champion with the Giants. By the way, another side note. The Giants won 3 titles in 5 years, I'm pretty sure. When we were, they were like, they won it, then won it, then didn't. Then won it. Bumgarner. Those were good baseball teams. And I think that is kind of forgotten because everyone talks about the Dodgers most recently, but the Giants won 3 out of 5. And then for you, for soccer, you put in Yuto Nagatomo, which, I mean, I wouldn't have, I'm glad you put forth, you gave the old college try and you put some effort in it. Yeah, you put effort in it.
I gave effort because, right? Because why be mediocre, right? Why be mediocre? Just like our Bible verse, do the best of your ability to get it. So I went out and I found
why be mediocre?
A soccer.
And that was your version of today's terrible segue, because that's what you want to talk about today. I know this topic was something you really wanted to cover on the show, and the Bible verse ties into it. And I'm going to let you start off, and you run with how you want to go, and let me hop in here and just kind of be your wingman on this episode, because I know you were super passionate about the notes that you put in on this.
Yeah, this one I'm fired up about because I'm really just sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of people being lazy at whatever it is they do. Okay. And I think it's becoming a pandemic in this society right now where people have a job and they just go to the job. They just collect a paycheck. They punch in when they got to punch in, if they have to punch in. They try and be there as little as possible. They maybe don't show up to work. They don't even tell their boss why they don't go. And when they're there, most of the time, a lot of people are completely useless. They see you coming down the aisle, they go the other direction. You ask them a question, they don't know the answer. It's just one of those things that I'm really tired of it. Whether it's your full-time job or it's your part-time job, you're getting paid to do a job. So if you're just there as, something to pay the bills for the month, you're there anyway. Do a good job at it. Like, why do you have to suck at it? Why do you just have to act like you might not want to be there, but if you're there, do a good job at it. Somebody's paying you to do that. And the fact of the matter is there's so many open jobs right now. Employers, they don't even care. They just want you there. They just want a body in the seat or standing there stocking shelves, whatever it may be. And it's gotten out of hand. I mean, I go into Home Depot or I go into Lowe's, and people just scatter. They don't want to help you. And when they do, they're useless anyway. They don't know anything about what it is they're trying to talk to you about. You go in and you go to find the plumbing or the electrical expert. It's somebody that, they probably don't even know what a pipe is.
You can put me in that role, and I could be the plumbing expert, and I know nothing.
Yeah. It's literally insane. I remember 23 years ago when I was, we'll say 20 years ago, when I was working at Home Depot out of college, right? I went in and I would shadow the people that were there that knew the business. And they used to hire in ex-plumbers, ex-electricians, guys that were kind of out of the trade but still wanted to make a few bucks and maybe have some medical coverage. So they'd bring them in. Those would be the guys that would work there. And I would learn from them. If I didn't know something, I would find a person that did, ask the question, and you know what? I'd stay there and I'd listen to the answer so that I knew the answer the next time. You'd walk somebody to wherever it is they needed to go. Right now, people are like, down on aisle 45 on the left. Okay, cool, thanks. Now I'll just go down there and hunt around like an asshole looking for something. So it really, you're laughing at me, but it's the truth, man. Like, we have lost the mindset of trying to do something really, really well to the best of our abilities. Most of the time, people just want to mail it in. Just get a paycheck and mail it.
I'm laughing, but I'm not, because I know how passionate you are about this, and I think for someone like you, see, this is where we're very different. You are much more a handyman than I am when it comes to electrical, carpentry, plumbing, and all those things. So I see where it really pisses you off, because you need answers sometimes. And if you don't know the answer, you're hoping someone who's supposed to be a quote-unquote expert has the answer. But that quote-unquote expert is just a fucking 21-year-old kid who's there just walking up and down the aisles waiting to be able to punch out, and you're never going to get the actual answer, which used to be true. Like, I remember going into Home Depot, a long time ago, and the guy that worked in the garden or the plumbing knew exactly what you were looking for. Now that is most certainly no longer the case, because they can't keep, like you said, they can't keep a body in place. They can't keep an ass in the seat because nobody wants to work. In the beginning of your rant, the word you use that I like is the word entitlement. And I just think this upcoming generation is so fucking entitled. It drives me. That I won't get as mad about the Home Depot shit like you do, because or Lowe's, and we're not singling out that store. We're just singling out people in general. Where that doesn't get me as mad because I don't really go in there expecting an answer because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing anyways. So it would be helpful if I got an answer, but that gets you a little more fired up than I am. But I totally, the word entitlement is, and I want to talk about this. And one of the guys that works for your company was talking about it, and it pissed me off. But I'm going down this rabbit hole about tipping, and it's like a sense of entitlement. Someone pours you your fucking coffee, and you're supposed to tip them now. And if you don't, you're an asshole when you say no tip on the iPad, right? That's the entitlement I can't
everywhere now.
Like literally, we went to pick up takeout the other night. Pick up takeout. So nobody served me. The cook cooked it, and there's a fucking mark on the screen for a tip for takeout. I'm like, wait, who am I tipping? Who does this tip go to? Does the tip just go in the owner's pocket? Does the tip go to the chef? Because he's the one who should be getting tipped. Or does the tip go to the fucking 16-year-old kid that rang me out and said $94 for pizzas?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Casey was working at Red Lobster part-time, when we were back in Arizona. And she said that the people, it was during COVID, so it was kind of a busy time. But she said, like, the servers would actually have to come out of their tables and they'd have to, like, package up the food and, like, get it all ready. So I can understand a little tip there. But, yeah, when you go to the coffee stand or you go to get you go to stop and pick up donuts. We went and got out donuts, right? And it stopped and there was an option for a tip. I don't want to leave a tip. You literally took 12 donuts and you put them in one box. It took you 10 seconds and we're done. It's ridiculous. You're 100%. I mean, we're down a rabbit hole now, but it's absolutely ludicrous. If you do a really good job, I will gladly tip you. I love to tip people. I love to tip people a lot. That's like when Casey and I go out to dinner, that's one of the things we like to do. If the service is great, we want to hook you up because I know you're working your ass off. If you're really good at it, you deserve a big tip. So that goes into the same thing too. Why be mediocre? If you're working at a restaurant and you're terrible at what you're doing, you're a terrible server or a bartender, you don't treat people nicely, you forget their order, you bring them the wrong shit, you're not going to get a good tip. So how about you just do a really good job and people will probably tip you more. So you're going to make more money. So the thing that you're there to do, which is just make money, even though if it's not what you really want to do, you can make more of it if you actually care and you do a good job at it, right?
And that was kind of like the question I was going to ask you, like, how can it be fixed, or what can be done, or what? No. Why would you want to be better? Right? You just gave the answer. Why would you want to be a better server? Because you're going to make a fuck ton more money if you're a better server.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a layered question, right? The easy answer is, you're going to make more money. If you're a server, you're going to make more in tips. If you work we're going back to it. If you work at Home Depot or Lowe's, you're probably going to get a promotion. You're going to make more money. You're going to get a raise. Those things happen. I mean, so money in your pocket, that's one thing. But how about just having some self-pride? I mean, to me, that's a big one. You're getting paid to do a job. Go do the job and do it well. If you don't know how to do the job, then you don't know how to do it. Learn how to do it. But don't just go there and just put your feet up. Whatever. I had to go into a home improvement store. I was on the search a couple weekends ago. This is what got me fired up about this. This is what got me going on the topic. I had to go around and I was looking for a trim piece for my bathroom. This is what I needed to finish, but I couldn't put an entire wall of tile up until I found this trim piece. I needed one trim piece. I went to 5 of the same brand store because it's the only place you could get it. So I went to 5 of the box stores. I had to drive basically all around freaking Tennessee to find it. So I find this one store that's supposed to have 10 of them. So I drive up there. It's like 45 minutes away. I've literally gone on YouTube. I'm going back and forth with my hand across the freaking state to try and find this thing. So I get there. I go in and I talk to this girl. I'm like, I'm looking for this. I went down there. I was looking through. None. There's none in the rack, but it says they have 10. So you know what that means. I mean, you and I both worked freight and doing some stuff like they're in the overhead somewhere. Okay. So I go down there. She's looking through them with me. No, we don't have them. I go, is there any chance that they could be in the overhead? No. These things come in. We just they go out on the shelf. Are you sure? Yeah. I go, well, I see some really long. Now this thing's 9 feet long. Okay. 9 feet. So it's not like it could be put anywhere. It's not like it's a little box of knobs or something or some screws. It's literally a fucking enormous box. So I go, well, on the other side over there's some big long bites. You go, no, those are all wood over there. It's not there, sir. I go, well, do you mind if I take a look? Sure, if that's what you'd like to do. So I go over there. I'm not there 10 fucking seconds, and I see the box. I see the box up in the overhead. So I call over and go, found it. Found the box. Yeah. You did? You found it over there? Yeah, I found it. There it is. Freaking number on the front. Hello. So she came over and she had to go find a freaking ladder and get it down for me. But then at least I had my stuff. But that's what I mean. Like, just you're there. You're getting paid to do the job. What does it matter if you're helping me or you're sitting down on your butt looking at your phone, whatever it is you're doing? And if they're sitting on their phone, they're probably surfing social media. Chances are they're not looking up ways to maybe put up a tile wall or lay a floor, or how do I do this so the next time a customer comes in, I can tell them how to do something. You can literally find anything on YouTube. So if you're going to sit there on your phone, at least look up something useful that you can do to help somebody.
And the problem is, the problem is these big corporations now, technology is all they do and all they want to do. So they are literally, these people are trained to look at their little phone that they have in their pocket now, and it says, oh, it's out of stock, or, oh, it says they're in the store, but I don't know where. Let me go find out. Oh no, it must be wrong there must be something wrong in the computer system. We actually don't have any. And then here you go. Dave Fortin goes walking down the aisle 32, bay 7, and there's the shit sitting up in the top because you actually took the time to actually look for it when their little computer said it was out of stock or not found or whatever the case may be. But it's that technology, because that generation of technology, that's all they know. All people know is this right here. If you're watching me on YouTube, this is all anybody knows now.
That's what the computer says.
Yep, I'm looking at this. Is all everybody knows now. Staring at your screen.
You know how many times I've gone in and something's empty, and we look up in the overhead and it's not there. I go, well, when are you going to get some more? They're like, well, the computer won't order any until the quantity hits 0. I go, well, there aren't any. He goes, nah, I don't see any. So can you change the quantity to 0? No, I can't do that. So how does the computer know that there's none here? I don't know. Could you find out? No. Okay, cool. So none are just going to get ordered. I guess my project's just shit out of luck. I'm done. See you later. Have a nice day. I mean, it's literally insane. I remember the days when you'd actually have to go down the aisle and you'd have to scan every SKU. And you'd look, you'd see if it was there. If it wasn't there, you'd place an order for some. And you actually had to balance. The department had a budget. You had to balance it. You had to order things. You actually strategically ordered things that people needed, not just because it was a good buy and you thought that was the biggest profit margin. You could get it in. Oh, we'll sell it at Christmas or whatever. No, you actually ordered the stuff that people fucking needed.
Yeah, I remember.
Imagine that.
I remember when I worked at a grocery store out of high school. I was going to college, but I was I was maybe 18, 19 years old, and I was running a grocery store. And on Saturday nights, the department that I worked on Saturday nights, I was given a scanner. And just like you're saying, I used to have to go down every aisle of whatever aisles I was assigned to. And if it was a hole, you had to scan it. You had to order it to make sure it was there. And every time. They don't do that no more. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah. No, it's all based on the computer because you don't have to pay somebody to do it. How about when you go to Walmart? If you go to new Walmarts that have been renovated or new ones that have been built, there's maybe 3 or 4 checkouts where somebody could actually work.
You're being generous. It's not there. 3 or 4.
Probably not. And the rest, wait till you get back to Oro Valley. It's exactly how it is. And the rest are freaking self-checkouts. So I gotta go in. I gotta do my own shopping, right? And then I gotta go and I gotta check all my stuff out. And then they have the freaking audacity when you get to the door to go out that they're gonna check the receipt to make sure I did an okay job, getting paid freaking nothing to scan the stuff, put it in the bag, and leave. It's literally it's one of my biggest freaking pet peeves.
You know why though? Because it costs less to have one guy making minimum wage standing at the door checking your receipt than it does to have 6 people or 8 people, however many self checkouts they have now, swiping it. Funny story. I went into, and this is the thing that pisses me off. Our brains are so programmed now for self checkout. I went into the grocery store, and we're in a little town in Arizona, so I went to the grocery store this morning with Caroline, right? Grabbed a couple things, needed some produce, needed some stuff, and I went up to the register, and I'm like, oh, Caroline, let's just go to self-checkout because it's just, I'm not going to try to find a register open with somebody that's actually working it. Guess what? It is a store that still doesn't have self-checkout. I was the happiest person alive. I'm like, wow. Even our old grocery store in Oro Valley. I remember when they transitioned to the self-checkouts. Because a lot of the grocery stores were the last ones to do it. Walmart was way ahead, Target, those stores. But a lot of the grocery stores were way behind on adding the self-checkout. And now they're all They've all succumbed to it. But the fact that I found a grocery store today that didn't have a self-checkout, I was fucking stoked.
That's pretty awesome.
I struck up a conversation with the lady, and of course, I mean, that's what I do. I mean, I can't go in the grocery store without talking to somebody. But I struck up a conversation, talked to the lady for 10 minutes. I was only buying 10 items. I talked to her for 10 minutes at the register because it was 7 in the morning, and there was someone actually working a register.
Wow. That's hard to believe. That's actually hard to believe. I mean, we've said it in regarding other topics on the show, but technology is absolutely destroying our society. Slowly but surely, it's destroying our society. I mean, you go into a McDonald's, you can't order from somebody. You got to order from a kiosk. You actually got to order from a kiosk. Then you got to punch in the little placard thing that you got to take off with you, the number, so they know where to bring the food. I mean, it's only a matter of time before a robot brings it out to you. I mean, back at the U of A when I was there, they were the whole Arizona system. They were testing robots to bring snacks to kids at campus. So if they ordered something, this little robot would come out and it would go all the way to their dorm and meet them and would pop open and give them whatever they wanted. I mean, that's where we're headed. It's really sad. I mean, I even saw a commercial for a gas station that you pull up. It recognizes the type of car you have. It's got this arm with, I forget how many different positions to move it, but it's like an arm and a hand. It comes over, it opens up your gas tank door, takes your cap off, puts the cap where it goes. It comes over, it asks you what kind of gas you want and how you pay, and then it takes the nozzle off the thing, brings it over, and whoop, puts it into your car for you. You literally don't even have to get out.
I miss the old full-service gas stations where you came out, gave the guy $20, he pumped the gas for you. Like, that was so cool back then. Now I think a robot does.
Is it still full service in New Jersey? I think they were the only state that was left. And I don't know if they still are.
It's funny that we're talking this topic today now, talking about technology, because campgrounds have always been like one of the final old school things that, like, you have to talk to somebody, right? You have to go into the office. They show you where your site is. They give you the map. How about this? We were at a campground in Texas last week. Is the first time in my life I ever went to a campground and I did not interact with a single person that worked at that campground. We pulled in, we booked online, pay online, pulled in. You know, I got there like maybe 30 minutes early, 40 minutes early of check-in time. Pull it through, go up to the office. The blinds are down. Says the office is open from 10 to 2 or 10 to 4 or whatever every day. So I go to open the door, it's locked. And there's a sign on the door that says, if no one's at the office, call this number. So I'm like, oh, I just want to know if I could check in early. You know what I mean? Thank God I knew my site number from my reservation online, right? Call the number, no answer. 2-3 times, nobody picks up, nobody calls me back. And I'm like, what in the living shit is this? I am at a campground right now that I don't know what to do. I've never been to a campground where I don't interact with somebody, because you have to, because that's just the way campgrounds are run, because they're still like a piece of old school. So I see one of the campground workers, who I didn't know was a worker. He was just some random guy that pulled into that parking lot, to the parking spot, and he goes, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here to check in." He goes, "Oh, just go to your site." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, I work some of the maintenance here. He said the owners are never here. They're never at the office. They don't pick up their phones. He goes, "Did you already make a reservation?" I said, "Yeah, but I'm an hour early." He goes, I'm like, "I'm an hour early." He goes, "Is your site empty?" I'm like, "Yeah, I drove by. It's empty." He goes, "Just go have fun. You're good." And I'm like, how the fuck do you run a campground like that? Any asshole could have pulled in there and just literally probably could have stayed for as long as they wanted. Because I stayed 3 nights at that campground. Never once talked to a single person in the 3 nights that worked at the campground. It's ridiculous.
That's
and then
amazing.
You come to a campground like we're staying at today, which is just tremendous. They greet you at the entrance. They drive you to your spot. They have a cafe, like a little restaurant on the campground, where they serve you. Like a waiter came out and served and like took our order for breakfast today. They cook the food. Wow. They bring it to you. Like, we were blown away at the hospitality and the customer service at this campground. But on the other spectrum of the technology taking over, that person knows what they get per night. They have to pay ahead of time online. You can't pay when you get there. So they know they're already paid. So they don't really give a shit what you think, because Andine was like, "I can't wait to leave a scathing review of this place." I'm like, "For what?" They obviously don't give a shit, because no one's here. Nobody's here. They already got your money. Well, they don't give a fuck if you never come back.
Yeah,
they know you're driving,
coming through. I mean, people are going to stop just because they have to.
They see our address. They know we don't live there, so they don't give a shit if they don't talk to anybody. They already got your money. And if you tried to call and complain, nobody picked up the phone in the first place. You know, because Andine wanted to go to the office and complain about the laundry and complain about the bathrooms and this and that and the other thing. And that's the other thing. Their website, you thought you were staying at the Ritz-Carlton. Fishing ponds, hiking trails, fucking playgrounds. Yeah, none of that shit. You know what there was? There was a fucking gate that said, do not feed the animals. And I'm going to get attacked by a bunch of fucking sheep when I'm trying to go fishing with my kids. But that's the world. That's the fucking world we live in. You can now own a campground and never set foot on the campground and make money.
They probably live on the beach somewhere.
What?
They probably live on the beach somewhere out in the middle of the woods or something.
70 campsites
whatever.
At $60 a night. Dude, they're making money hand over fist. They don't got to do this, and there's no maintenance at a fucking campground, Dave.
Pay one maintenance. One maintenance
guy to clean the bathrooms in the morning and take the trash out of the bathrooms. There's nothing else. By the way, there was no fishing ponds all over the place, no swimming pool, no playgrounds, nothing. Yeah, but that's the world that we live in, right? That's the whole point of this conversation. That's the fucking world we live in right now, where nobody wants anything. Everyone's fucking entitled. I mean, it's unbelievable. Yep. It's unbelievable. You know,
it's true.
And how entitled is this society? And this, I don't care who the hell I piss off when I say this, and you don't even know what I'm about to say. How entitled is this fucking society that we live in when a school shooting happens last week, a openly whatever you fucking call them these days, trans, whatever they are, I'm being disrespectful, oh well, trans person goes in and murders little fucking kids, and then 2 days later, the supposed leader of the free world says we need to have a trans appreciation day? Are we? Yeah. Like, we live in the fucking Twilight Zone, dude. We live in the fucking Twilight Zone. Is that not entitlement at its fucking finest?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's for sure, dude. We're in a bad spot right now. But you know what? At the end of the day, you got to look in the mirror. Mm-hmm. We always say you got to look in the mirror. Yeah. You're the one who can change it. You're the one who can change your own situation. You're the one that can start to make an impact on your neighbors, on your friends, the way you live your life. Yeah. So I'm just going to circle back around to get us back to the point, which is do your fucking best at whatever it is you're doing. Whether you're working there 5 hours a week or at your full-time job, your career, whether you're in school, whether you're parenting, whatever it is you're doing, do it the best of your ability. Why do anything less than that? Have some self-fucking respect. Have some pride in what you're doing. Have some pride in the people that came before you who started building these things, building this country the way that it is so that you could do the things that you want to do right now. That's where it starts and ends. If we don't do those things, if you don't hold yourself accountable, nobody else is going to hold you accountable. Yeah, I think that's freaking obvious at this point, that nobody else.
And the thing I want to jump right in, right there, right? We said no one else holds you accountable. You did put something in the show notes. If you're the
this is a big thing I wanted to touch on.
Hold somebody accountable for their fucking job.
Yeah. We've lost the ability to have a hard conversation, and I don't know why that is. Now people are afraid of it. They're afraid of it from their own side. That they don't want to be in that position. I don't. That's gonna be really uncomfortable for me. But if you're not helping someone, if you're not telling them that they're not doing a good job, if you're not teaching them, showing them the way to do something, you're doing them a terrible disservice because they're not going to get any better. They're not going to think that they need to get any better. Okay. So you need to be able to have a tough conversation with someone and help them grow. And at the end of the day, if they continue to not get it, well, maybe that's not the right position for them, and have the stones to fire them and move on. If that's where you end up getting to. But you got to try with people first. You got to teach them. You got to show them, because people are entitled, dude. From the time 20 years ago, people started playing in sports. They landed in 15th place and they got a fucking massive trophy. Oh, look at me. I got 15th place. This is awesome. I'm amazing. No, you're not. You got 15th place. You didn't do well. You shouldn't have gotten that trophy. Maybe next time you could work harder so you could actually get a trophy for first, second, or third place. Maybe that would make the difference. But now people just go in like, oh, man, I did my best. Look at me. I should be getting a raise. I should be making a lot of money. Where's my promotion? No, you're not getting it because you suck. You suck at it. You're not trying hard.
Yeah,
you're entitled.
The entitlement.
Cut it out.
Yeah, but the other thing is, the entitlement is handcuffing the good managers that are still out there in the world because they're not allowed to say anything to anyone because they don't want anyone's fucking feelings to get fucking hurt. That's the problem. That's the world that we live in.
Oh yeah, they're worried about and they're worried about getting sued or they get fired or whatever.
Because they actually, some discipline on your employee that sucks. That fucking person instantly runs to HR and says, "You hurt my feelings." And now the manager who's just trying to manage people with what's in it, they're not even allowed to do what's in their job description anymore.
Yeah, or it's a racial thing, it's a gender thing, it's an equality thing, it's a disability thing, it's a trans thing. But everybody's got a thing. Instead of just looking in the mirror and saying I didn't do what I needed to do. Nope, we got to blame it on something else. Somebody else is a something phobe, right? We're phobic. It's some kind of phobic over here. No, they're just trying to hold you accountable. Maybe teach you to do something the right way, dude. Blasphemy. Yeah. This make you better. Exactly. We've lost our way in this country, and I'm so tired of it. Yeah. I'm so tired. I hope people actually, I know I've been ranting here for the last 30 minutes. But I hope people take away from this is that you need to look in the mirror. You need to hold yourself accountable and do the right thing. And if you are doing that already, great. Be an example of that. Go to work and be an example of that. If you see somebody who's acting the way they shouldn't or not doing the job the way they should, bring them under your wing. Show them the way that it's supposed to be done. And maybe we can actually start making a difference and start changing the generations and start putting America back in the place that it has been for so long and needs to be able to stay on top in this world.
Yeah, and it ties in perfectly. Like I was just earlier in the day when you and I both subscribed to Andy's newsletter. Andy Frisella we're talking about. And his newsletter today, his daily thing was amazing. Like the world, this country, is such a fucking mess. And what it needs is more winners. Like we need winners, but you need to, winners need to show people. And right now we are such a shortage of winning's not a bad thing. Right now we are in a country, in a world where winning's bad. It's not bad. Winning is it is primal. It is instinctual. No. We are put on this planet to win. That's what we are. But right now it's frowned upon. Dude. So we're lacking winners, which means these bosses are trying, these actual true winners out there that are trying are getting nowhere because winning's in our DNA. Pretty fucking simple. And right now we are at such a shortage of it. It's pathetic.
When is it that change happened? Because I was telling you earlier, I'm coaching Bryce's flag football team. Yeah. Again, this season. I coach him every season. I love doing it. It's a lot of fun. You get to teach kids about the game. It's great. The first thing that happened when the refs blew the final whistle, the kids all came over. They said, "Did we win?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Nope, we didn't win today, guys. We lost by a touchdown." And they were all like, "Ugh." Yeah, dude. They were so disappointed that they lost. That was the first question. Did we win? Yes, sports should be fun. You should have a great time playing them, and I totally see that part of it. But winning is also a part of it.
Yep.
Because when you win, you get that sense of accomplishment. Like, look at what we did. Look what we did. And when you lose, it should make you want to get better so that you don't feel that anymore and you win.
Yeah.
At some point, we've lost that.
Yeah.
Kids lose that. And I think it's from, you get to the end of the season, you're the Bad News Bears. You lost every single game, and we give you a trophy. Feel good about, you guys did great. Yeah, they might have worked really hard. Yeah. They might have worked really hard, and that's great. But they didn't. Yeah. And that's okay, because next season when they come back, maybe they're going to work harder and they are going to win. And think of how great they're going to feel then. But we lost that. We lost that ability, and it's primal. That's an instinct to win, whether that is on a hunt or in your job for a promotion or on a field for a sport. It's about winning. Winning does fucking matter. And these people that say that it doesn't matter, it's just about having fun, they're full of shit, and they were probably losers.
No, you're right. You're right. Kids always want to know if they won, and they always want to know the fucking score, right? The kids always want to know the score.
All the time. Even when they come over, Bryce, I'm watching a basketball game. Bryce comes in. What's the score, Dad? Who's winning?
Perfect.
Who's winning?
Perfect,
That's the question. Who's winning? Because it does matter.
Perfect example. Last night, I'm watching South Carolina, Iowa, the women's Final Four, right? I flip it on the TV, and I'm watching it, right? And Caroline goes, or Finley's with me. This is my 5-year-old, right? This is how she's raised. She's a winner. She's a competitor like it's nobody's business, right? The first thing Finley says is, Dad, which team do we want to win, the white team or the black team? Who do we want to win? That's the first thing she said to me. And I said, We want the black team. We were rooting for Iowa over South Carolina, but that's neither here nor there. But that was the first question she asked me. Who do we want to win? Who are we rooting for? And she does that with any sport I'm watching, whether it's soccer. Well, obviously it's Tottenham. She knows what Tottenham is. But if it's a sport that she doesn't know the team or know what we're watching, she always asks that question. Who do we want to win? We want to win.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
So work hard and be the best at it. Don't be mediocre. That's
the moral of the episode, and that's the moral of the story today. So I hope you enjoyed episode 55.
I did.
Yeah.
I loved it. This was a good episode. This one's been on my heart for a while that I've wanted to get out. And hey, I hope somebody takes it. I hope somebody takes it to heart and looks in the mirror and
next week I will no longer be on the road recording from who the hell knows where. So that's a good thing. Yeah.
Pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
Yep.
That's exciting.
Well, you ready to wrap?
I'm just going to call it out. I don't have a book today.
Book? Well,
do you have a book? I don't have one.
I mean,
my books are still packed. I don't have any out, and I know you're in transit, so
we're breaking the book. I don't have a book to give today. I am, as you guys know,
okay. Yeah. Well, we are breaking our book streak.
I'm making fucking excuse because I'm driving across the country in a camper, but I do not have a book. I've used all the books that I have in the camper, so that's about it for me. It
is what it is. We missed the book today. I will unpack. I do need to still unpack my books. It's kind of hard to believe I haven't unpacked them all. So I do have to do that. Maybe this will be the motivating factor to go and do that now that the bathroom's wrapped up. And we'll have 2 books for you next week. 2 to make up for it because that's how we are. We're not mediocre. We're going to get it done. 2 books next week. Brett will be back he'll have to go digging through the storage.
Oh, God.
Storage unit.
Matt, really quick before we wrap the show, Andine asked me a question today. She said, because one of Madison's friends was doing a young entrepreneur craft fair in town today. And there's another one in 2 weeks. The week after Easter, there's one. And she looks at me and she goes, "Babe, Madison might want to sign up for a booth at the Young Entrepreneur Conference thing with her friend." And I said, "Cool, that's awesome." She goes, "So how accessible would be to get all her supplies that are in the storage unit?" And I literally just started laughing. I said,
"You'll be there. I know you will. You're going to be in that storage unit."
Oh, I'm so gonna be buried in that storage unit this week. So, well, listen, episode 55 is a great one.
Fun times.
Dave, let's fucking go UConn. UConn, UConn. Let's go Huskies.
Yeah, UConn.
I hope we're talking next week's episode as national champions. If not, it is what it is. Take us home.
All right, everybody, get out there, live the full force life. If there was ever an episode to tell you to live the full force life, this is it. Stop being mediocre. Help those around you that are and make them better than mediocre. Get out there, live the full force life. And we'll see you next week on episode 56.